Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folarin. My guest this morning is Mr. Dare Odufowokan, assistant editor of the Nation newspaper. As always, Dare, thanks a million for coming by.
Pleasure being here again.
Newsrooms are busy, I imagine, at least those around Lagos and Ogun for that matter, because of the local council elections tomorrow. It is going to happen in Lagos and in Ogun. Interestingly, in those two states, interested parties approached the courts to either cancel or postpone them, and in no case was that allowed.
Yeah.
So in both states, no, the councils will continue.
It didn't say true.
Yes.
In Lagos, just yesterday, the court declined, that's the word they used, to grant the request of the complainants. And in Ogun, the court simply told those who went to court that Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission has the power to recognize the list before it, and that because the request before the court was coming that late, that Ogseg is probably prepared for the election, and the court would be unfair to ask for either a postponement or an alteration of the list. The court did not say that the complainants lack merit in their case. I read the pronouncement and I could see some very brilliant technicality.
The careful use of words.
We are concerned about not disturbing the preparedness of the Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission, in the sense that if we agree to your prayers, they will have to change the ballot papers, change the pictures, change the names and all that. And that will require time and a lot of expenses. Meanwhile, it is the party people are going to vote for, not individuals. So the election can still go on. If your party wins, you continue to pursue your case as it regards candidates and persons. But we are sorry, we won't be stopping the election.
Exactly.
That's what happened in Ogun.
That's the Ogun situation.
Yeah.
Who was the it's PDP?
Yeah, PDP, a faction.
A faction of PDP.
What happened actually was Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission got two lists of candidates from two different factions in the Ogun PDP. And there was a judgment that came, and the OCX simply relied on that and picked one. And they picked the faction that allegedly is not recognized by the national leadership of PDP. So yesterday, the day before yesterday now, there was another judgment that said no, you can't choose for PDP. PDP should decide who their candidates will be, and this is the right faction. So the faction hurriedly sent in a fresh list, expecting Ogseg to obey the latest court pronouncement. But the commission says we are handicapped. We can't begin to change names now. So that faction rushed to the court. This election holding tomorrow must be stopped. Because we are not even looking at the legality or otherwise of your case. We are only saying this is a bit too late.
It's too late. It's too close to the actual event
on other parties.
So that was the reasoning of the court.
That was the reasoning of the court.
In Lagos, it's in the issue is with the ruling party itself.
Ruling party.
That is APC.
More importantly, there were people within the party who felt some people emerged as candidates who ought not to. But you will all know that in party democracy, the party is supreme. But it is always good to test our books. It's good to test our laws. So I think those who went to court felt that we could get a better interpretation. But the court simply told them, this is an internal affair of the party, and it is not enough reason to stop the entire election. Your party is not the only party presenting candidates. So if because of your own issues stop the entire election, I mean, we will be unfair again to other participating political parties.
And you know, and meanwhile, the state independent electoral commissions, they say that, look, it's the party we're dealing with.
Yes, not individuals.
Not individuals. So whatever the party sends to us,
that's what we use.
That's what we have to use.
And that's why people are rushing to the courts. That they could get it. For example, just yesterday too, the PDP in Lagos complained about some issues, and those issues, I learned they even had to be joined in one of the cases. And they were declined. Still on the strength of these actions are coming late. These actions are coming late. A day to the election. But you will discover that they waited that long because they had expectations too. But maybe probably those things didn't go that way. In the case of those who went to court within the ruling party, if their preferred candidate had been so nominated, they probably will not be going to court. So we need to understand and begin to imbibe the culture of party politics if we want to do party politics. Then the National Assembly should see all this as an opportunity to revisit the issue of independent candidacy. If I am not satisfied with the process in a political party, which is my legitimate right, it's my fundamental right to be so dissatisfied, to be so aggrieved, I should be able to go and run as an independent. When we have such, there will be less acrimony in the political party, especially in the process of selecting candidates. When I know that I am popular, you didn't choose me in your party, no problem. I fly my kite alone.
Exactly.
And I could be lucky, the people say yes.
But that will be another day, because at the moment,
we don't have such provision.
We do not have
any such. I was passing
provision.
through Ikeja somewhere and I saw a poster. And the man wrote independent candidate. And I just smiled. Whoever is advising this fellow,
no, you know, maybe he's being biblical, calling the things that are not as if they are. Maybe it will materialize.
Because his name would be on the ballot.
Of course not. No, I think he was maybe he was even seeking to, highlight or underline the point.
This can be done something like that.
But you see, it's an important distinction you make, which is all there in the regulations, that it's not the individual, it's the party. And this is, so we go back to the whole matter of internal democracy within the parties again. Yes. There is no, for some reason, where they're not all on the same page, either in Ogun or in Lagos. Yet, what Justice Phillips, who was here recently and has been making the rounds explaining the readiness of LASIEC, they will continue because she made it clear yesterday. Exactly, she's made it clear. Elections will hold, and she had said to us when she appeared on the program that we have to wait on the party. Whatever the party sends, that's what we work with. So there must be a person, a body that they are recognizing as a person with authority, since anybody can send a communication to LASIEC. So LASIEC has no doubt verified and ascertained that the communication it has is coming from the leadership, from the right sources, and is going. But it does leave people. What do you think if people are this disenchanted within the parties? If they are going to all these lengths, it must mean there's some amount of disenchantment going on. What do you think it does for unity? Because at the end of the day, this is just the politics of it. They have to come together to deliver service. They're not being put in there, for their own good. It's essentially it's part, and it should be the most powerful structure of governance. Unfortunately, this is what we have.
You see, sir, Kuyori, the truth about this matter is, one, are we actually ripe in our democratic experience to begin to pursue those ideals which are what should be? I would say no. In Nigeria, party politics is such that it is only when it is not in your favor that we hear you shouting and lamenting and complaining. Of those who are complaining within APC today, I have been covering politics for more than 20 years. And I've been around Lagos. I can tell you that among those who are complaining today, I can barely find one person who had not benefited from imposition in the past. I can barely find one person. That is one. What I'm driving at is there will always be friction. But we must have provisions. Even in the United States, they have independence. In the United States, they have independence. So we must have provisions that will create room for those who are aggrieved and are unable to be pacified. You see, I don't say anything wrong in being aggrieved. There are stages in grievances. They are aggrieved, they pacify you, you agree. Or you are aggrieved, they pacify you, you refuse. There must be opportunity for such people to still exert their or test their popularity.
Okay.
Let's have independence. That is within the party. The party is a conglomeration of individuals. There are power holders in the party, those who hold and control the party. Not only at the national level, not only at the state level, even at the grassroots. There are always those people who sit down and say, this is the person we use. Either that person is popular or not, is left to their own imagination.
Exactly. And look, we can't escape the matter. All of this is also coming, at least partially, from financiers of the party.
Oh, how do we finance parties in this part of the country?
Let us just call it what it is.
Did you see the provision in the electoral law that talks about campaign expenses? It was limited, but the senators threw it out and said, no, you can't, because they understand what it means. That is when they are in charge.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
They bring the big money, so they control the system.
And this is part of the political situation that we are contending with, because that provision that you say they threw out, it was intended to level the field.
Level the field for everybody.
It doesn't matter how much money you have.
Tell your war chest.
Yes.
I can come with my war cup.
I like the euphemism. Yes, exactly. So it was supposed to put war chests in a proper perspective of, look, that doesn't mean you can squeeze everybody else out.
Yes.
But as you say, God knows what the senators were. You just adduced a reasoning. But when they threw it out, no, only God knows what it is.
But then, now that it is thrown out, the playing ground is not leveled, and it is for the big spenders. Okay. The ground is for the big spenders.
Okay, but the thing is, the elections will go on tomorrow in Lagos and in Ogun. Franklin, good morning, Franklin. Come from Kaduna? I didn't get that. Good morning, Franklin.
Good morning, sir.
Franklin?
Yeah, good morning, sir.
I think there's an issue in trying
Hello,
to
I'm
connect
hearing
with Franklin. But
how with you?
maybe,
good morning, sir. Hello, sir.
Are we good?
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Okay. Maybe somebody can... hello, the studio speaker.
Hello?
The person in studio can't even hear me. You know, it's unfortunate. Okay. Maybe someone will fix our studio speaker. You know. Hello?
Issues everywhere.
Yeah, there are these kind of issues everywhere. And actually, we have a man right there in front of us, but he's otherwise occupied, so he can't even hear that we're looking for help. But, well, whatever. So it's so unfortunate, because Franklin was going to contribute, called in all the way from Kaduna, and he's just on the cusp and is unable to actually come in. So sorry about that, Franklin, because you must be hearing us. Okay, so this is the situation that we have on our hands. We'll fix the studio speaker situation very shortly. Okay, somebody's going to come and do it for us. Okay, we'll be right with you. Okay, Franklin, can you hear us? Franklin? Okay, we've lost Franklin, but at least let us have audio. It's so unfortunate that all of this should be going on live. But, you know, so we've opened the lines and we hope to hear from you, because there are situations that we are contending with here. You are going into the nature of our democracy, right? Yes. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
You said something about those who are complaining. in your experience, which one of them has not, actually been benefiting from some of the very things that they are complaining about now?
I can hardly find one.
This is the whole issue.
Because it's the system within the party, and they've been within the party. I know of somebody who was single-handedly chosen.
Okay, let me try Mazi.
Okay.
Good morning, Mazi. Mazi, I am aware that you can be heard in some, apart from in the public space, also in some aspects, some areas here, but I don't know, not in studio, unfortunately. So sorry, Mazi, and we also apologize to Franklin as well, who had actually reached into, the station, but there's some little. There must be a spider somewhere. We're working on it, and we will get it fixed.
So I was saying that it's about where the tide turns. It's not in their favor today. That's why we are hearing this noise. Tomorrow, if they are the beneficiary of imposition, we won't hear. That is not to say imposition is good for democracy. No. It's not to say it's good, but it is a situation where you don't find anything else to complain about within the system, and you said, okay, so person has decision. But the party constitution allows for consensus election, either direct or indirect. There are 3 ways you can choose your candidates. So if the party decides that this is what we're going to use, last year, INEC will listen to the party.
Exactly.
You may think you are popular and the party finds reason. Don't forget there are screening processes. The party may find something unworthy while we're being screened. And for that reason, he's popular, yes, but we are not going to use him. That is not to say the idea of imposing candidates is good. It is not good for democracy. It is not good for popular representation. Because the moment you choose somebody who is unpopular, who was rejected by the people to lead them, he will be disconnected from them and they will be disconnected from him. Yeah. And then democracy will be defeated.
You see, this in part is, I imagine, what you get when we can't be as transparent, in our communities as much as we should. Because as you're saying, the party might have a reason to, decline going with a quote-unquote popular person.
Yeah.
But then if it is transparently made known, then everybody will see
reason,
and everybody will understand the reason.
I agree with you perfectly. But in most cases,
but it doesn't work like that with us.
In most cases, people don't see transparency.
The secrecy is power, as a matter of fact. Between you and I, secrecy is power. And so there people don't want to make these things. I'm just guessing, not having been in a political. They just want to. So this is part of the challenge that we have now. For whatever reason, the party has declined because the party is. Ordinarily wouldn't want to shoot itself in the foot.
Yes.
Ordinarily.
Yeah.
So if they have decided for whatever reason not to get... let me try Mazi again. Good morning, Mazi.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, we can hear you, Mazi.
Yeah, come tomorrow is an election in Lagos State.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yes.
At least there is need for states to organize their own election.
Yes.
Both the council and the chairman.
Yes.
I'm just calling on the Lagosians to try as much as possible and come out and vote. Come out and vote in the sense that you don't go and sit down at your comfort zone and be sleeping or watching television. At the end of the day, you start complaining that Mr. Sosa come out so that you take your hand and punch the candidate you want that will deliver. And people should try as much as possible. You vote candidate that you are sure that he or she will do what will deliver, irrespective of political party, irrespective of language, irrespective of caliber status. Yeah. Now the question is, local government election, I want to find out from our guest here. I've never seen any local government election where opposition party have 50-50 with the ruling party. Why is this so in Nigeria? Because I'm asking this because if you check very well in Nigeria today, the major problem we are having now, all these terrorists in all these states, all these local governments, because people decided to go and just do abracadabra and enter the office. At the end of the day, they will not sit down and do the needful. The needful is saying that a chairman of a local government Instead of you to stay in your locality after election, you will now be operating from headquarters. It is not healthy. People should go that will be staying with them in the local government. Not the chairman you be operating from headquarters from the same capital. If that is not a local government as a chairman, because you should be there and know what the people need, their requirement, and what they want, and why they should be. The thought of the government is the basis for any state, for any country. Thank you very much. I wish the Lagosians a successful and peaceful election. Come Saturday, tomorrow. God bless all of us.
Indeed. Thank you very much. Ogun State will also be conducting its election as well tomorrow. And in Lagos State, the Commissioner for Information has issued a statement that there will be a restriction between 8 and 3.
Yeah, it's 3 p.m.
Between 8 and 3 p.m. So as to just facilitate, going back to what you were saying, LASIEC has organized it, and to make sure, as the Commissioner Omotosho put it, that there will be a hitch-free conduct of the election by LASIEC. There will have to be this partial restriction between 8 and 3 o'clock. I believe the hours are similar in Ogun State as well.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing. Almost the same thing.
Something like that. But in any case, the election is about councillors, isn't it?
And chairman.
And chairman as well. Chairman. Okay, so the stakes are a bit high. I thought the structure was already in place and we're just bringing in councillors through the ballot.
It's the totality.
Everything
of the
is up for
structure and the all for grab. Vice chairman, and the councillors.
Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in. Good morning.
Uncle Yori, I was trying to reach you on the thing behind NEC commissioner and a representative of a youth party we are discussing. I couldn't. What is going on today on this local government elections has much to do with what they were discussing that day. Yeah. If you look at, I took interest in the Lagos scenario, and you discover that the process of selecting candidates is so difficult for youth, for young people. You have to belong to a class of either the powerful or the opulent before you can get nominated. Until INEC is able to do something about the framework that produces parties and candidates, younger people will ever continue to find it difficult to come into politics. This electronic system is one that can help them, but what can throw them up is more than this one that is at stake now. The selection process and the organization of the party. I took a look at the candidates presented by a particular party. I don't want to mention his name on air here. Throughout this election, about 80% of the candidates are above 50. So where will the youth come in there? It's a concern. I hope there will be another day for us to discuss this.
Indeed. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. George. And in case you missed that particular day he was talking about, we had a member of, in fact, a member of the Board of Trustees of Youth Party of Nigeria. And they have issues with INEC. INEC has said that their name was restrictive, even though they had said that they had court judgments, saying that INEC should go ahead and deal with them. But INEC, also has its own quote-unquote war chest, so it can appeal and go to court. And so that was the state. And the point, that is why Mr. George brought that matter on, that in his own estimation, most of those people who have been selected by these parties, selected, I don't know which is the right one in this context.
Nominated.
Okay, nominated.
We can play safe
that we're safe with nomination. That have been nominated by this party. It is felt that some of them are in their 50s. So where is the opportunity
for younger ones?
For the younger ones.
I want to defy a bit from what he said, and with reasons. Without mentioning the name of any political party, I can tell you that many young persons are going to be on the ballot tomorrow in both Lagos and Ogun. A lot of people under the age of 50, a lot of them, almost 50%, I can tell you. Take a look, a 30-something-year-old young man is on the ballot in one of the leading political parties in Koshofe. The same thing in Ikusi Sherry. leading.
Okay.
Ruling party, leading opposition
It
party.
is not that they don't exist at all, but
if we have to, if a look at the list of candidates, sincerely will tell you younger persons have been given
themselves
a chance.
forward.
That's Ikosi Junior. I said in Ekpe. Ikosi Sherry here, a lady below 50, in her early 40s, is on the ballot of the leading political party.
Where are the 20s?
Well, the constitution is yet to give room for 20s. 30s, I mean.
When
20s will be on the ballot for councillorship.
Yes.
I'm talking about chairmanship.
Oh, okay.
Chairmanship,
Okay.
40s, 30s. I can keep counting.
Yeah. Okay. I know what you're saying.
While they may not have done enough in our own estimation, the improvement is commendable.
And in
The
any case,
improvement is commendable.
in any case, the youth need to put themselves forward.
Now you
show.
need to join political parties.
Exactly.
You need to participate.
Dotun, thank you for holding on. Dotun in Ota, Ogun State. Good morning, sir.
Okay, good morning.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. Please, I don't want to confirm. The election here in Ogun tomorrow, there is no any sign, whether any declaration of holiday or anything.
There is.
So we don't really know what's common. Whether there's going to be holiday or movement.
There is.
Two, I heard Apapa local government chairman also that they changed a candidate yesterday. How possible is that a day or 2 days to election for a local government or for a party to change a candidate? I don't know how possible is that, because I've been hearing this. I don't want to confirm from that. Thank you. And Ogun State, no any there's going to be movement or nothing, because some of us are where we register are very fast for our polling unit. So I don't know how possible is that one.
Let's try and sort the matters out. They're actually, just I was telling you about Lagos. I think Lagos is between 8 and 3 in Ogun State.
I think similarly 7 to 3.
Yes, something like that.
There is the information is out there. Maybe it needs to access it.
Maybe you didn't access the information. The information is out there that there will be restrictions.
7 to 3, thereabout.
That kind of a thing. I think he was also talking about
Apapa. Well, that's a question for INEC and the party to answer. We cannot begin to adduce reasons for what is beyond their purview. We are all hearing that the candidate has been changed. But I ask you, have you seen the INEC list of candidates before now? For you to know whether one has been changed or not?
That's an important point that you've just made. I believe that in Ogun,
the list is out.
The list is out.
Yes.
But in Lagos,
well, I've not seen it.
Okay, which is not the same as the list is not out there.
I didn't say it's not
you
out.
haven't cited it, and you are monitoring.
Yeah,
you and colleagues are actually monitoring, and so far you haven't seen it. So these are part
people can speculate.
Yes, these are part of the issues. People will speculate. It's like INEC knows those who are eligible to contest tomorrow.
And the parties know.
And the parties know.
Yes, well, in Ogun State, for example, there are two factions of PDP campaigning up till yesterday. Both closed their campaigns yesterday. Both believe their candidates are in the election, and both are going to work for PDP tomorrow.
So, Sulaiman in Kano. Sulaiman, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in.
Yes, sir. As you call, my name is Sulaiman. I'm calling from Asian City of Kano State.
Okay, go ahead, please.
My take on this local government election, I prepare to call it local government selection or nomination, because when you look at it across the nation, whenever local government election come up, you will see the ruling party sweep the entire local government what are they calling chairmanship. They will win the entire, like my state, we have 44 local government, and we have someone in caliber of Konkosu in PDP. To everybody's surprise, how can an ATC, we all know what happened during the state governor election. We know that he cannot make it until when the center come and did what they did to give the governorship. But the APC sweep the entire 44 local government. But I always commend the Lagos state politics. I always like the way they handle things. By giving the youth chance now to come and participate is commendable.
Okay.
And we always look at that place as a good direction. God bless Nigeria.
Indeed. Thank you very much for calling in, Sulaiman. Interesting point he makes in there, comparing politics, the way he sees it in Kano, and again, the way he sees it in Lagos. And he was wishing they could imbibe a bit more of his spirit. Right. But the people in Lagos are complaining.
That's to tell you that satisfaction is
the people
relative.
in Lagos, that when I say people in Lagos, I mean
the participants in Lagos.
Participants in Lagos are complaining.
That's why we say satisfaction is relative, sir. It's relative. He is satisfied with what he's seeing in Lagos.
Yes.
And he's wishing that Kano would be like Lagos. But people, the players in Lagos, are hoping things will get better.
Indeed.
And he spoke about he spoke about the ruling party always winning everything. But he just said the truth. He said it the way it is. But I believe that it is the people that can change that. Tomorrow, you've chosen candidates that you don't like, you're going to stay at home. You won't vote. Why don't you come out and vote the other way?
Indeed.
To show that, we are not satisfied with it. But instead of that, people stay at home.
People will just stay at home.
People just stay at home, and
nothing is fair.
A council chairman will be winning the election with 5,600 and something votes. We've seen that happen. In a place where you have 70-something thousand registered voters. Then with 5,000.
That just shows the apathy, Emmanuel in Benue State. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
Good morning to your guest.
Good morning, sir.
That's a long time no see.
It's been a while.
I also miss Martin Soloja.
Okay.
And Ismail Onipidon.
Okay, Ismail is not sure.
Journalist hangout. Uncle Yori, this is not the kind of politics we bargained for. Unfortunately, we are having it this way. When Fela was singing here, a lot of people who were misguided called him LMU or all manner of names. Now we can see the crazy democracy. It is demonstration of crazy indeed. So our age has nothing to do with this. Mindset is what we need. Until we get honest people and sincere people who fear God, nothing will work. Look at the state of our roads. No light, no water, nothing is working. In my state here, our governor, who is standing for us, standing by us and saying, no, you cannot push my people to the ground. Look at the way they are trying to mess him up, the way they are trying to frustrate him, killing our people anyhow in Benue State here, just to frustrate him, because he's saying he's standing for his people. I encourage Governor Tom to continue to stand for us. He's a great man indeed.
Okay.
He's a bold man.
Okay, man.
And we're all behind him.
Thank you very much for calling in and contributing your bit to it. We'll take a break now. Please stay with us. We'll be back and we'll continue taking your calls as we look at our preparations for the local council elections in both Ogun and Lagos states tomorrow. Okay, welcome back. The elections for local councils will happen tomorrow, even though there were attempts by aggrieved parties in two states, Ogun and Lagos, to get the courts to adjust matters, but the courts have declined. It's far too late in the day for such matters, as my guest was explaining. So, still in studio with Dari Odufowokan, assistant editor of the Nation newspaper, and we're looking at issues. Now, as Justice Phillips was telling us, just about everything that can be done has been done by now. I'm talking about the security, all the materials, logistics, all of that is in place. And then Lagos State government facilitating again, not so much no movement. The way Lagos State referred to it as restriction, movement restriction, which means that there will be some necessary movement, but it will not be
related with
the election, conducting the election. That is not the time to begin to go to your market stall. No, it's not going to happen. Not from 8 to 3, or to start visiting people, or to
that's
start
what negotiations do,
or to start playing street soccer. No. In fact, government was in Mr. Motoshaw's statement.
It was emphatic.
Yes, and he was appealing to all residents to be part of the process. Good morning, Reverend Dominic.
Good morning, Yori.
Thank you for calling.
Good morning to your guest.
Good morning, sir.
Yori, this discussion today, to me, is more important than any other thing. Because when we get, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
when we get governance from the bottom here, it could be better up there. But unfortunately, Yori, I live in Alimosho here. I have not seen one candidate talk to me. I try to listen to radio every morning. I try to read my papers every morning. But how do you go into election while you're not communicating to people? Not the state government, not the state actors. The people involved who want to govern me in my local council here, I'm supposed to know them. I don't know anyone. And if I don't know, you can understand what I mean.
But you see posters. But they are posting up. They are pasting up posters.
I have not seen anyone here. You know, they paste it and put it on the highway.
Exactly.
The local government is not on the highway. The local government is local. It's for the people you want to govern. Can I hear you?
Yes, I hear you.
Yes, so what I'm trying to say is this. Again, some people have seen Yori, to be frank. I don't want to mention a political party. If you look at the candidates, you begin to wonder, is this a joke? Or somebody who wants to govern people who are intelligent like him? I mean, the people who want to govern us. I've seen one of them. I don't want to mention the political parties. The candidates are not well educated to my own understanding. They are not well intellectual to my understanding. They are not prepared for it. They look at the government, as where everybody can go. But if you ask me, local government is where professors, retired professionals, retired DGs, retired justice to go and put governors down. Everything that happened in Alimosho here, we talk about Buhari in Abuja. How does it work? If there's a drainage in my road, in my street here, they say it's Buhari. At times I caution, they say you're Buhari. How will you talk to Buhari on the drainage, on just wasting of your dustbin in here, and you say it's Buhari? It's supposed to be the problem of the councillor or the chairman. But tomorrow we're going to have election. If I don't know, you can understand, many people don't know this candidate. Many people don't know their councillors. But we're going for election. When you see an apathy has a reason. If educated people, they will come out. Nigerians are very intelligent people in the world. That's why they go chance. If you live in Lagos, you must be wise, They're very intelligent. But when you don't communicate with them, tomorrow we're going to do restriction. That restriction is what I call a holiday for people to rest. Because they have no conscience. I don't know how to vote. And I'm frank to you. I can't go, I'm educated enough to go and put my thumb somewhere. And I don't know who will govern me. I don't know who to vote.
Yeah.
And many people like me here do not know who to vote. We must do more awareness in local government election than federal election. Okay. Federal is good, state is good.
Indeed.
But local government election is the best. And it's one that can touch you and me, wherever we are. But as much we neglect it, and the way we go about it, we will see getting these governors that will come from Abuja to come and sweep my estate here, which is not possible. If the commission is possible, because nothing is working. Local government is important. We must attach importance to it, take awareness to it, and make it people to participate in it because it's their own government. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for calling in. And he speaks the truth, because in an ideal case scenario, local government will be very powerful. They will be independent, and that would segue into a different conversation about how can they be independent. You know, Mr. President himself has waded in on this issue.
He so much wants their independence.
Yes, he wants their independence, but it is thought that the governors up and down the land, not in any one particular state, up and down the land, are frustrating all of that. They're frustrating all of that in the sense that, you know, Mr. President was looking for the funds to come to them directly. That's on the one hand, to make them what they should be. And then the other point that Reverend Dominic raises is that that is the most powerful, you know, sphere of power, actually. You should have them in layers. And these people, Reverend Dominic brought up the whole matter about the quality of the candidates that he is seeing. And if I understood him right, is that he feels we can do better than is being done. So I don't know what all of this says to you.
Well, sincerely, he spoke the truth.
Before you launch, please, Uchenna has called in from Abuja. Okay. Good morning, Uchenna.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for calling. We can hear you.
Yeah, this is Uchenna calling from Abuja.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You're welcome. Please go ahead.
All right. I really want to first and foremost commend states that have decided to even do this show called the local government election.
Show?
I call it a show. Yes, it is. I stand to be corrected anyways. But it's a show. Honestly.
Okay.
So the point here is it appears we have clearly misunderstood the importance of local government. We have indeed. And it is high time that error is corrected. It is high time that error is corrected, except if you want to still continue to wallow in a 19th century mentality as far as our politics is concerned. It's a terrible show that we do in the name of local council elections. Thank you, guys.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Uchenna, thank you very much. Short, succinct.
I mean, he merely added to
exactly
the volcanoes sent in by Reverend Dominic. But you will realize that these things are the truth. And the earlier we begin to find a way out of such complex situations, the better for all of us.
You know, because when he called it a show, no doubt he's thinking of the fact that, look, the end, I'm guessing now, not being able to get into anybody's mind, but he probably is thinking that there are those in power that you were talking about in the parties that already have a very good idea of what the outcome shall be.
But if those in the other parties make it difficult for them, then they may not probably have their way. Then it will not probably always be a show. I'll explain. Reverend Dominic talk about not seeing any campaign. Nobody is talking to him. It will be so where the opposition party is so weak that it is barely seen. Take for instance in Lagos, let's be practical. We have a ruling party. We have a frontline opposition party. If they take the advantage of this council election to go all out to talk to the people, present themselves as credible alternatives, then the ruling party will be forced to take the gauntlet and move. But where their opposition is not felt, is not seen, in most cases they are not even, the people are not seeing their candidates, or they are picking just anybody and dashing out the tickets of the party.
And sometimes they become annoyed and say they're pulling out of the election.
Yeah, I'm yet to hear that. But people are still of the opinion that they will still boycott this election. We had the state chairman of the party speaking yesterday, and the tone, that's usually the tone. When they start speaking that way, the next thing they will tell you is that they are not, when the ruling party already expects boycott, so they won't also spend their money on campaigns, and that is what we are seeing. It is not so, I will tell you, in Ogun State. People in Ogun will not tell you they are not saying. The campaign has been massive because, in fact, 2 factions of PDP are campaigning, and they are campaigning as if their lives depends on it. Look at the governor in Ogun State. He went around all the 20 local governments to lead the campaign of his party. At least he had 2 rallies in each local government in the last 20 days. He left Abeokuta, the capital, and in the last 20 days, he's been moving from one local government to the other, campaigning to the people. He sees himself as the poster boy of the party. And said, look, this is my candidate. You know why he had to do that? Cannot afford to lose the local government to the opposition. And the opposition has, the Buruji faction of PDP has been moving around. The Lado faction of PDP has been, and then the 2 factions. So APC is even contesting against 2 PDP candidates in each local government. So in a situation where the opposition in Ogun State rose, and I tell you, Uncle Yori, you need to see the candidates of all the factions and parties in Ogun State. I can tell you that
Quality candidates,
the processes. Oh,
okay. Ogbeyifun in Benin, I hope I pronounced that right. If not, I'm sorry. Ogbeyifun in Benin.
Yeah, thank you very much, Uncle Yori.
Thank you, sir.
I really am enjoying your program so much. You know, some of my other colleagues are called from other states. They make mention of calling the election a show. You know, actually, I will face the party anyway. It's not a party. If you are at home that day, if you have the opportunity to buy chicken, you kill and eat. It's a holiday for you to rest.
It's not a holiday.
Something I want to say is this. I just want to make clear this. You see, the issue of this country is not about the younger one handling a position. No, we are far from that. Let's not misunderstand this thing. A man called from somewhere and said, we need change of heart. That is the word to use. Because I've seen a young man, I've seen young men, when they misbehave on Kuyori, you will swear not to vote a young man into a politics because it will be a big problem at the end of the day. On Kuyori, see, Nigeria problem is more than age. Let us forget about age. The man that is coming, do you really know this man? Who is this man? Where has this man worked? Who is the family of this man? Are they responsible? These are things you look. This man, is it with us in this community? Is it one of us? Is he a foreigner that will come from Akwa Ibom and rule in that local government? Or is it the man that will leave Lagos and go to Kano? So these are what we look. Forget about the age. I'm just about 46. If I have opportunity to vote, I will vote for a younger person. You know why?
Why?
I don't want what happened in one part of East to happen again because people that were young people. You know what happened? I'll leave that one for you. Where money we are thrown at it. Nigeria can even borrow money from some of these youth and use for the growth of the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in. You know, interesting point that he makes, but you see, I don't think it's about youth per se. And why people bring the youth into it is that, look, they are of, so to speak, generation now. They might have fresh ideas. Present them, sell them, and let's see what the electorate will say. But as that man was saying, he said he won't necessarily vote for youth, and he has his own reasons. And gave those reasons. But the whole matter, the whole question of youth is that they should not be, it's just like we're like women too. They should not be excluded from the process. They should, because a woman will have her own perspective on the matter. There are some things that are beyond debate, you know, whatever all those principles are, capability, efficiency, and all of that. A woman can do all of that, and so let a woman's viewpoint also be heard. Let a youth's viewpoint also be heard. And by all means, there's a lot to be said for experience. But experience to the exclusion of other segments of society is what some people are working against. But how well are the youth themselves, to what extent are the youth themselves involved? You were saying it, that this is the time for youths to join parties, not sit outside and be complaining.
They should join the parties. Not necessarily because they are youths, but more importantly because they are Nigerians. More important because they are stakeholders. We've had youths being given opportunities in the past, like my brother just said. Not all the stories have been rosy. A lot of us are unhappy that some youths represented us, the way they turned out. But that is not enough reason to say we won't allow them again. Forget about age. Go and participate in the process. Get into the process. If you are given the opportunity, represent us well. We've had youths as speakers. We've had youths as a council chairman.
Indeed.
We've had youths as governors. And today, we are still having some. How proud are we of them? But the elders should know that no matter how long they stay on the scene,
they will have to give way.
One day.
They will have to give way.
The earlier they begin to allow youths to learn the ropes, the better.
Chidi in Kafanchan. Good morning, sir. Thank you for waiting.
Good morning, Chief Fiori.
Good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, your guest.
Good morning, sir.
Indeed, I am listening with a keen interest in this very debate concerning the Lagos State Council, local council elections that is coming up tomorrow, God's willing.
Yes.
But my challenge here is that our democracy, as the former head of state, Babangida, would say, is becoming a homegrown democracy. And in a homegrown democracy such as we are having, the democracy is becoming a mockery of itself. Because at the end of this election, it is predetermined, I must say. I stand to be corrected because at the end of the day, the whole 57 local government or local council chairman is going to come out from a particular party. I don't want to mention names. And in a civilized climate, this is not supposed to be like this. Therefore, it is high time Nigeria should come up with a proper democratic practice where everyone should be a full participant.
Okay.
With that,
Chidi, I beg your pardon, but thank you very much. That's all the time we have. Thank you for indeed calling in. And I also need to thank you, Dario, as well. Thank you very much for coming along and giving us the benefit of, your insights from the reports that you are getting in your job as assistant editor of the Nation newspaper. So that's our program. Tomorrow is election day for the local councils in Ogun and Lagos. In Lagos, there will be restriction of movement between 8 and 3. So just go out and vote. Just as the statement said from the Commissioner for Information, go out, everybody, every resident is supposed to be involved. So have a nice time, the rest of it, tomorrow from 3 p.m. And we'll see, God willing, on Monday with a fresh edition. I'm Yori Falane. Bye-bye for now.